Ravens taking on the Detroit Lions in Baltimore. We're going to pick it up in the first quarter. John Harbaugh elected to go for it on 4th and 1 at the 7, and Jackson faking the handoff runs it in for the touchdown. Ravens take an early 7-0 lead. Under 4 minutes to go in the first. 3rd and 3 at the Lions 12. Jackson heavily pressured, but it doesn't matter, right, Dan?
It's a really nice job by Lamar getting outside the pocket and then keeping his eyes downfield again, like remaining that passer in that moment, finding Nelson Aguilar.
14-0 lead. To the second quarter we go, under 8 minutes to play, and Ravens 2nd and goal at the 2.
I love this.
Jackson pitching it to Gus Edwards, running it in for the touchdowns. The Ravens fan loved it, obviously. Baltimore leading 28-0 at the break. My goodness. Midway through the third, Ravens 2nd and 7. Jackson and Mark Andrews.
That throw is such a pearl up over those defenders. It happened so fast. Guys didn't even have their heads turned.
The world is his oyster. The Lions were able to pressure Jackson on Sunday, but it didn't faze the Ravens quarterback. Jackson had 246 passing yards when under duress on Sunday, the most by any QB in a game since 2009 when ESPN began tracking pressures, and Jackson had more passing yards under duress on Sunday than he had in the first 6 games of the season combined. It's really interesting because we look at these numbers a lot with Lamar, but how were Lamar and company
Look at the numbers.
Able to get it done, Dan?
Yeah, it's one of the best games passing-wise I've seen Lamar have. I think this has become a top 5 pass offense in the NFL. 3 things that stood out. Number 1, Todd Monken, their new offense coordinator, and the use of Zay Flowers in motion. They start him inside and go out. And now those 2 defenders for Detroit have to communicate. They get lost in communication. Now Rashad Bateman, who's the inside or number 2 receiver, has got the in route, but they've created outside leverage. Bang, ball out on time on 3rd and 7. How often have we seen that, if ever, for this past game in Baltimore? Change of tempo. They rush to the line of scrimmage. Now, what that does, watch how Lamar's the last person to get set. Hands going to the center, ball gets snapped. Detroit's not ready. Wow. Then they bring Mark Andrews from the left all the way to the right. Again, that has never been a part of their pass game in Baltimore. And this is probably my favorite one, the 12 personnel play action. We got 2 tight ends on the field. We have a post at the bottom, a deep crosser, and then a deep dig route. Look at the time, but Lamar goes from number 1 to the post, to number 2 to the crosser, to number 3. And this, oh my goodness, that ball floated up over those linebackers. That was multiple clips yesterday of him. And when we hear people say layering the football, that's what it looks like. This is what this offense has the capability of being. Consistently, can they get there? But passing-wise, that's one of the best games I've seen Lamar have as a thrower.
We focus so much on Lamar, and rightfully so, in these wide receivers. Brother, that offensive line, it might have been the best game I've seen the offensive line play this year. Like when you start thinking, and it wasn't about scheme, right? We talking so much about scheme. These are duo blocks where they're moving people in the center of the line of scrimmage. This is a hat on the hat. Look at this. Yeah. You can run football plays like this all day long. That's a 4x1 RPO, right? And it's because of the creation of Todd Monken creating that space for this offensive line. This is another run that hits downhill. Watch the movement of the 2 interior guys as they try to get over. Anzalone caught up backside. This is what this offense is starting to become. Don't get it twisted. The Ravens still want to be physical at the line of scrimmage. That is their identity. That is who they want to be. The job has gotten easier for this offensive line, though. They are not facing 8 and 9-man boxes anymore, and that space creation is allowing them to be physical at the point of attack, and it's paying dividends.
Real quick, you know what I do like about the run game? The pistol. I like when that back is, he's in the shotgun, Lamar, and the back stacked behind him, because I do think it allows him to get more downhill.
You know, I picked the Baltimore Ravens to win the Super Bowl this summer, but it was based on a lot of ifs. If Todd Monken is what we think he is, if Lamar Jackson takes that next step as a drop-back passer, if these skilled players can give him some more opportunities down the field. Coach Tomlin had this thing he called A games. Every time we played Baltimore, you played one of these good teams, he said, this is an A-player game. Everybody brought their A game for the Baltimore Ravens. From the beginning of the game, Todd Monken put Lamar Jackson in opportunities to succeed. And once he got going, once he got in the flow of it, he played above the X's and O's when he needed to. And then you add that to what this defense now is. And Marcus, you mentioned all the time with Roquan Smith, the way they blitz, the way he directs, the way he helps Patrick Queen be his best self. This team can win a Super Bowl. And not only win a Super Bowl, this team can dominate throughout the rest of the season. It was impressive to see, and it was in the A game against the Detroit Lions that have been playing some of the best ball in the entire NFL.
You feel good about that pick now, don't you?
I do.
As you should.
You look smart.
Also, how much fun to see a creative Ravens offense finally we've been begging for it.